Hello cyclocross friends and welcome to Season 2, Episode 8 of Crosshairs Television. We are back in Roanoke, Virginia to finish up coverage of Go Cross. We join the action right at the whistle, and like day one, Allison Arnsman takes the hole shot and has the early lead. Unlike day one, Crystal Anthony clips in cleanly and is safely among the leading group as the field hits the staircase. In fact, when we see the group again at the start of the first full lap, Anthony is leading the field as they head towards the short wooded section. Sonny Gilbert and Arnsman are second and third. Carolyn Mani leads the rest. In the tape farm, the field is already stringing out. Exiting the tape farm, Anthony punches up the short climb with Gilbert on her wheel. Arnsman, Mani, and Raylan Nuss are not far behind. Erica Zavetta and Becca Farringer are lurking near the front as well. On the front side of the course, not much has changed as Anthony continues to lead with Gilbert, Nolan, and Mani in tow. The leading group has been reduced to 8 riders. One lap later, and Gilbert has taken over at the front with Anthony tucked in behind. Nolan leads the chase group. As we swing over to the sand, my camera battery dies. But before it did, I wanted to show you the leaders running in the sand. This is key. Nolan has detached from the chasing group and joined Gilbert and Anthony at the front. Anthony gets to the front as the trio tackles the logs and the off-camber U feature. Gilbert and Anthony go through the finishing straight together, with Anthony looking over her shoulder to check on Nolan, who isn't far behind. This one is starting to get tactical. Becca Farringer has worked her way up the field and is now trying to join the leading group. As the leading duo approach the sand, Anthony has again made a point of being in the lead. Happy to sit behind Gilbert in the less technical grass sections, when it gets tricky, Anthony goes to the front. And right there is the move of the race. Having previously run the sand, Anthony, with nobody in front, stays on her bike and begins to quickly gap Gilbert and the field as riders behind dismount and run. Only seconds after leaving the sand, and Anthony has established a decent lead. Nolan, who also rode the sand, moves into second. At the U, Anthony continues to grow her lead as Nolan, Gilbert, and Farringer chase. A half lap later, and Anthony continues to stretch it out. Farringer continues to power the chase with a resurgent Mani behind. Nolan and Gilbert are still there too. One more time through the sand, and on this lap, everyone in the chase has decided to ride, following Mani's lead. With 2 laps to go, it's status quo at the U. And with 1 to go, Anthony is looking good, but Mani and Gilbert are starting to charge. Last time through the sand, Nolan in 4th is trying to hunt down a podium spot. At the U, Mani is the one putting the pressure on Anthony as she starts to close the gap. The gap remains about the same as the leaders head to the far side of the course for the final time. But in the end, Anthony was able to put in a final dig, maintain her lead, and take the Go Cross Day 2 victory. Mani finishes in 2nd, with Gilbert in 3rd and Nolan in 4th.
Crystal, yes. First question for you, as long as you keep your feet in the pedals, you just win the race?
It definitely helps to be right there from the beginning and not have to chase from the back of the pack, yeah.
But yeah,
definitely felt much better today.
How was it today? I mean, how did the race shape up? What was your plan going in? Especially, I'm assuming you were a little disappointed after yesterday.
Yeah, it's always motivating, I guess, when you have there's some misfortune one day to come back the next day. I knew it was a lot hotter today too, so kind of had to be aware of that. I wasn't sure how I'd feel too because I had to dig pretty deep to fight back yesterday, but I was at the front there, and I don't know, the race never really blew up that much. The gaps were pretty small, and I feel like you were like 1 watt away from cracking because it was so hot. So it was kind of, you know, balancing, you know, being aggressive with, you know, riding within myself.
One thing that I saw was it looked like, I don't know if it was purposeful or not, but Sunny was running the sand. Yeah. And it seemed like it was kind of in your mind to get ahead of her before that sand, and that seemed to really open up a gap.
Yes, I noticed Caroline had ridden the sand by us in lap 2, and I was like, oh, I guess it's rideable now, because the first lap it had been groomed, so it was a lot chunkier. So I knew that that was a good spot to maybe get some time.
Do you think that was it? That's what opened that gap, and I was able to sort of...
It did open a gap, but it was just seconds, and then Caroline Manny was coming on really strong at the end. I know she's always a force to be reckoned with at the end, so I think I heard 4 seconds at one time, so I knew I couldn't relax. I was just trying to ride my own race and within myself, and so I was just trying to ride steady. I never really attacked until the very last lap when Caroline was catching me. I really tried to punch it then, but I don't feel like I ever, on a day like when it's really hot, you know, the difference between attacking and not attacking is very small sometimes. Yeah, so I wasn't really trying to go off on my own. I was just trying to ride my own race, I guess.